listening to Soundcheck with the Moose.
All right, gang, it's Moose here with you. Soundchecked. By the way, the name is Soundchecked because apparently there's a radio station in New York City that has a show called Soundcheck. So we can't have that anymore. So, which is fine, because originally it was going to be called Soundchecked. So anyway, it's Soundchecked with me, the Moose, coming to you from the Moose Pit here in OKC. Listen, real quick before we get started tonight, I wanted to announce that we just hooked up with the guys over at PureCore, which is a really big deal to me because I've tried to get these deathcore and metalcore bands to send in music, and they don't like to do that because they don't like to be considered metal. I don't really know the whole deal, but it's very difficult to get them to send music. But the guys over at PureCore, we're going to be working together with them, and we're going to have a butt ton of core music. So I'm excited about that. Thanks to Jeremy and PureCore for reaching out. I think we reached out to each other on different occasions, and finally we both figured out, well, hey, this is something we should do, and we're doing it. So, yeah, man, welcome to episode number 6. It's interesting because a lot of people see that on social media. Oh, this is only his 6th show. No, we're getting close to show number 300, actually. So, but it's number 6 of this year, of number 2018 season 2 of Soundchecked. And this year we're doing shows by genre, and we've done black metal, doom metal, heavy metal, doom. I don't know. We've done a bunch. Anyway, so this is number 6. This is going to be thrash. So here's the deal. This is a warning to all of the affiliates out there. This show's only about an hour and 35 minutes long. Normally it's a 2-hour show, but the thrash genre is not sending out a lot of music. So we have about an hour and a half of it right now. So hopefully we'll get more of it so we could do another thrash episode later on because people dig the thrash. Right now, though, the number 1 show still stands, the Doom show. More people have listened to the Doom Soundchecked than any other one. So tonight's going to be interesting because, it's really hard to not get into thrash. It's very difficult, and I think you can look at how thrash influenced the music, even punk and hardcore, and yeah, thrash is just it, man. So it's going to be exciting. We have a lot of bands here. Now here's the deal: if you've never listened to the show before, what happens is I play you a bunch of songs I've never heard the bands, the songs. So I'm going to give you my review, which I review things in tacos. You get rated by tacos. That's how things work here. And then also, you're going to hear these bands that when they send their music in, they say, hey, we're a thrash band. So these aren't bands that I listened to and I went, hey, this sounds like thrash. I'll put this on the thrash show. This is what the bands are calling themselves as a thrash band. So far in 2018, we're finding out that this is really one of the most comical aspects of the whole show because these bands will send their music in and they'll say, hey, band, this is what we are. Then you listen to it and you're like, that wasn't thrash at all. That had nothing to do with thrash. So, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. It's Soundchecked. Listen, here's the deal with Soundchecked. You can comment to the show by emailing moose@themetalmoose.com, or you can comment by text, which is 424-666-7356. And you can send in your comments or a picture of you flipping me off or, a picture of your butt, whatever you want to do. I've received some pretty choice pictures over the years. And then what we want you to do is we want you to tell your friends about it. Hey, this dude Moose out in Oklahoma is doing a pretty cool thing by genre. So, I'm not sure what next week's show is going to be off the top of my head, but when you look on social media, you're like, oh, hell, man, he's getting ready to do grindcore. I definitely get to listen to that. So it's one of those deals you share with your friends. You share this one with all of your friends who are into the whole thrash deal. So there's that one band, Metallica. They got pretty big in the thrash scene. There's those other guys. Slayer, yeah, they were pretty big in the whole thrash thing. So there's a lot of thrash out there in the world that you might be into. Testament, Anthrax, those guys, go back, way back, Dark Angel, and, this is a long subject we could talk about for lunch, but I've been talking for over 5 minutes, so we're going to get this on. Welcome to Soundcheck number 6, genre thrash metal. We'd love to hear your comments. One last thing before we get into the music. The Soundchecked Rumble is going crazy. So my phone told me today that my voicemail was full. I had to go in and clear out my voicemail from all the votes. So I'm still recovering from the flu, so my voice is shot. If you're wondering what the Soundchecked Rumble is, we do that on Thursdays. We have two bands going up against each other with fans voting on who they like more. 3 left and Killing Grace going at it. You'll find out the winner this Thursday on Soundchecked Rumble. That's right. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start out with a band called Euphoria, with the title of the tune is called Scarecrow. I've always been fond of things that have to do with scarecrows, so I'm looking forward to this one. And I dig me some thrash, so this ought to be a great show. This is Moose from the Moose Pit without a voice, basically. In Oklahoma City, it's Soundchecked Thrash. Let's bake this damn cake right now.
where you get rated in tacos. Only on Soundcheck.
I mean, that was pretty thrashy, right? I mean, that had that really, really crisp bass tone, had that real rocket fire guitar riffage, a lot of the real clicky double bass, had all of the signatures of a good thrash tune. The one thing I thought it was missing was usually there's some guitar heroics, there's some pretty decent thrash guitar players out there. I don't know, Alex Skolnick being one of them. So when I listen to a good thrash tune, I'm ready to hear some guitar insanity. I just didn't get that from that tune, but it was a good tune. It was thrash. But it was kind of, it was kind of like cut or color by number kind of pace. I mean, it had the right elements. They just didn't peak out for me. So I would give it a 3.5 taco. You know what I mean? It was likable. The production was good. It had a lot of good, venom to it. But it where was that crazy guitar solo, or you know what I mean? So it just didn't seem to have the guitar heroics that I like so much. Anyway, so I was going to tell you guys also, I forgot to put out a Facebook, Twitter poll. Or actually, you know what? I may have done that, but I forgot what it was. So I'll put out a new one tonight. So we'll have a full week of the poll question. Because hell, I honestly don't remember if I did or not. Because the flu's just crushed me, and I moved into a new home. I've been here a week now, so yeah, we're still working on the studio. I know it sounds a little echoey in here because I'm just in a makeshift studio right now, but get the real deal coming soon. I'm so stoked. I know I've been talking about that for months, but it's happening. It's just taking time because it's money and patience and waiting and stuff like that. So don't worry. We'll have the Twitter poll thing later tonight or in the morning, one of the two, because it's already getting kind of late. So, we'll make it happen. And I wanted to say thanks. I was talking earlier about the Soundcheck deal. You guys are really participating like hell in that, and that is a good deal, man, because audience participation is important to me because I love to communicate with you guys, and ask anybody that's involved in the Rumble. That I always reply back, even if it's just a thank you or a picture or something goofy like that. But I communicate with you guys. I'm not that cool guy DJ. I'm just a normal dude who digs metal. So coming up next is a band called Mason, which doesn't sound thrashy, but hell, you never know. It sounds like Hanson, but Created to Kill gives me an idea. It's thrash on Soundchecked,
where you get rated in tacos. Only on Soundcheck. Find Soundcheck on iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and in your local taco truck.
Yeah. And Mason's got it going on, man. Do you remember that guitar wizardry I was talking about? There it was, right there in the Mason track. Really good. Also had that signature riff, that good breakdown, real machine gun, rapid fire stuff. Man, I felt like putting on my Converse, man, and some of the jams. Anybody remember? I don't know. Anybody that's under the age of probably 30 probably doesn't remember jams, but they were these goofy shorts that thrash bands used to wear with like a cartoon print and Hawaiian print, and it was the weirdest combination ever. It's like, hi, we're singing about the devil in war. Look at our pretty shorts. Yeah, so that was good stuff. I would totally give that a 4, maybe even a 4.25 taco. Mason, really good. And I'm really happy so far that we're 2 songs into the thrash genre, and I can comfortably say that those first 2 songs were thrash. Just because this whole experiment so far, I've learned a lot about how bands misrepresent what they sound like in their press releases. You know what I mean? So, yeah, if we put thrash, man, we'll get a whole different level of fan base. But these have all been pretty damn thrashy. So, yeah, this is get into the pit and throw down music. And I mean, I can't do that anymore. I've got a cane as it is. I would get killed. But for the kids out there, they can still do that and, throw yourself out there and get a bloody eye and bloody nose and stitches. That's like a whole, like, I got 17 stitches from a Slayer concert. No, you're the coolest guy I've ever met. That's in the story. That's bragging rights. So this is Soundchecked coming to you from Oklahoma City. Coming up next, we got a band called Black Absinthe, which that sounds pretty thrashy. It sounds kind of scary too, but scary goes along with thrash. So we're having a good time on Soundchecked. Make sure to hit us up on the text line 424-666-7356. Until then, thrash out with the guys in Black Absinthe. There may be a girl in there, I don't know, but I'm guessing. I'm just guessing.
Hey everyone, this is Abby from X Method here in California, and you're listening to the Moose. Keep it metal.
One kiss of madness and it Hey, this is Chadwick from 3 Left, and you're listening to Moose on the Soundcheck.
All right, hell yeah, a little violin there to round out the bluesy part of the thrash show. So there was our first example of what I was talking about before we played that song. I feel like sometimes bands may kind of categorize themselves in a genre that they're maybe not, because that was not thrash. That was good, what I call like a trucker rock. And there's nothing wrong with that. I dig it. It was a good tune. It was well performed. The production was killer. Nice, hard rocking tune, but not thrash. So, but I'd give it, probably a 3, maybe a 3.5 taco rating. Pretty cool. It was good. It was like good Rebel Flag kind of Southern kick you in the nuts metal kind of a deal. It was all right. So, yeah. Hey, real quick, I want to make sure and mention this to everybody. I think that most people listening understand this, but this show is a podcast, so you don't have to listen to it at any certain time. Once it's released, it stays on iTunes and on Spreaker, and on, it's on any time you listen to it. There is no time to show up. You can listen to it on your phone, when you're going to bed if you want to, whatever, anytime. So people are always like, man, I seem to miss your show. No, you didn't. It's up. You can go listen to it right now. So that's one of the advantages of being a podcast. It's on YouTube forever. It's on iTunes forever until I decide to take them off. So don't worry about being on time or being tuned into the right station. And we love the fact that stations carry our show. But that doesn't mean, that's not the only time you can catch it. That's the reason I decided to do a podcast. People ask me all the time, man, Moose, why don't you go live, man? It's so much cooler and yada, yada, yada. Well, yeah, but then people have to be there. You know what I mean? So I put it out this way so people can dig it when they want to. And then I have to worry about, when to be sitting at their computer or when to have their phone on or yada, yada, yada. I release it on Tuesdays, and then I do the Rumble on Thursdays. So you get a couple little episodes a week, and I've been doing it this way for, I don't know, couple years now, so it's changed over time. It used to be Monday, then it was Friday, and I'd change it around just based on my real life schedule, because I, along with being a metal god, I'm also a dad and I have a full-time job. So this is just my fun thing. I don't really make any money doing this, so this is just my hobby and what I like to do, and it's what I'm good at. So this next band is called FKU. I'm sure that probably stands for some not nice words, but they say they're thrash, so they're on the show. This is genre thrash on Soundchecked. Let's get it on.
Hey, baby, this is Rachel Record from the Crash Dolls, and I'm a chick that rocks on Metal Moose. Fire!
You're listening to the Metal Moosh.
Right now, somebody is, especially if they happen to be younger, they listen to that song and they went, that is the stupidest thing I have ever heard. That is just so dumb. But let me tell you something right now. That was the coolest damn thing. That's the coolest tune I've heard in a long time. And listen, it's cliche. It had all of the thrash cliches, but it just ruled. That was metal. You know what I mean? That was really, really good. I'm giving that a 5 taco. That was awesome. That was like the heart of thrash. I'm still waiting for the high falsetto vocal, the Anthrax style, and then, Paul from Exodus as well. I'm still waiting for that. But, man, that was just incredible. That was a blast. I really was thrashing out on that one. That was a great air guitar tune, man. Yeah, those happen. I'm an air guitarist. It happens. I drum, air, bass, all of it in the car, man. Just I'm throwing down the one-man band. What are they called? FKU, 1981 was the name of the song. Really, really good. That so far has been the epitome of a good thrash tune on this show. That was, man, badass. Really, really good. Whew, I'm out of breath talking about that one. Man, trying to get over this flu. Man, if you've had the flu, it's been a real bad outbreak in the United States. I know a lot of people listen to this show overseas, but it's been really bad here in the States, and everybody's sick. So God bless you and Godspeed getting well too. It's been rough, man. I sound like an 800 operator, but it's pretty bad. But I'm still here, rocking the show out, and we're gonna keep doing it. I'll do it, like I'll do Morse code if I can't talk. This next band has got a great thrash name and a good song title too. This is a band called Haunt with a song called Fallen Star. We all know who that is, right? It's the devil. So listen tight.
Hey, rock fans, this is T. Singh,
Matt Vogt, Rob Pace,
and Joe Sanchez, and we're from
Drama Queen.
You're listening to the Metal Moose Radio Show where Oklahoma rocks.
are listening to the Metal Moose.
Yeah, it's another one that I wouldn't call thrash at all. You know, another kind of a hard rock, kind of a modern day stripped down Amorphous kind of a deal. I liked the song, loved the guitar. Guitar solo was beautiful. I liked the minor key run of the tune. I liked the mode behind it. It was good for what it was. Not thrash, though. And once again, you know, like I said, I'm not blaming that on the band necessarily or the label or whoever sent it to me or anything like that. But, you know, in the thrash area, it didn't work at all. As a song, as a whole, it did really good. It was like a four taco deal. Liked it. That's somebody, because I love that, you know, elegy era Amorphous. That's what it really reminded me of. Like I said, a little stripped down, not quite as clean, but it had that same kind of feel to it, which, you know, I can go back and listen to some older Amorphous just about any time. Great band, great, underrated as hell. It's one of those bands I don't think people got into enough. This next one, man, what a perfect thrash name, and it takes you way back to like to the 80s when I was tagging the bands on Facebook to let them know they were going to be on the show. The movie Cobra with Sylvester Stallone came up. That's how old school this is, because the band's name is Cobra. And now listen, this is a Southern American band, I think, or maybe a Mexican band. Or Mexico, how do you say that and be politically correct? You know, the big country south of Texas. Anyway, yeah, so it's called Para la Guerra, which I don't know what that means, but that's what it means. The album is called Unidos, which I think means like unity. So just guessing. But Cobra, that's pretty damn thrash. We're going to find out. They love them some thrash in the Brazil, Mexico, South America, that whole, you know, the Sepultura areas, and yeah, man, they're all about some thrash. They're sticking to it. They're not breaking away from it. They're staying with thrash till death. It's serious. So we're gonna check out Cobra. We may not understand what they're saying, but we'll find out if it's thrash right now.
You are listening to the Metal Moose.
guys right there, very serious about their thrash. It was really good, man. Very high ratcheted, man. There was a lot of tension going on there. It was pretty cool, man. Cobra, I want a shirt. Maybe with Cobra Commander on it or something. That was just thrashy, and it had that South America pissed off, vitriol and anger in it too. So it was good. I'd give that a 4 on the old taco scale, which means I'm keeping a taco for myself. So it takes a lot of work to keep this body. Trust me, it does. Hope you guys are having a good time, man. I know I'm having a blast. Make sure and find us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn. Which, for all the people out there that contact me on LinkedIn and stuff, I very rarely go there. So, Facebook or Twitter is a much better way, or email is the best way. You want to contact me, just moose@themetalmoose.com, because LinkedIn, I use it. I'm on Google Plus as well. Right, is that it? And then that Russian Facebook thing, that VK, I'm on that as well. So I'm not on Tinder. Sorry if you're interested, just not there. So yeah, man, we're all over social media. So make sure and find us. Just look up, Soundchecked or Moose. Facebook. Look up Soundchecked podcast, and there's about 10 pages connected to it. So you can look us up there as well. And like I said, I communicate with everybody. So I don't discriminate. I just hang out and say what's up and talk about metal. So, and also thanks to the people over at the Metalhead Box, of course, Melissa and the crew there. Amazing product, amazing people. Also, my friend Oliver over at Black Lion. I've been working with Black Lion for about a month now. It's been an awesome experience. Also want to talk a little bit about Metal Coffee PR after this next tune. If you're in a band and you want to get your music out there, not just out there on Reverb Nation, not just out there on Bandcamp. I'm talking about out there on the desk of labels and on the desk of magazines and venues and all of that stuff. Metal Coffee PR. We can do it for you. It's what we do. I'm stoked this new relationship with Purecore is going to be a blast. Lots of good music and lots of good connections for good bands out there throwing down, deserving some attention. We're going to make it happen. This next band, killer thrash name, Hellbent, Desert Death Lord. Holy hell.
The Moose rocks Texas. Soundcheck on iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and in your local taco truck.
I mean, I guess, it was kind of thrashy. Had that old school production to it, lots of screaming, like the mono break on the guitar riff. It was okay. It was not my favorite. Maybe a three taco deal. Somebody out there is going, "You're crazy, man. It was awesome." And that's okay, because we're allowed to disagree. It's not like a band that if I would have heard that on a comp or something or heard it on the radio, I wouldn't have been like, "Oh, yeah, I got to get that." I would be like, "Yeah, okay, well, that was noisy." That's about it for me. So I don't know. It's all right though. Hey, listen to all the bands that are on the show, to all the bands that listen to the show, all the people that listen to the show that work with bands. I started Metal Coffee January 1st, 2018. So I've been in it for a little over a month, and already one of the bands has gotten signed. If you have an EPK, that's all I need. You just get a hold of me, and I'm going to get your music in the right places, not just in the right hands, but in the right ears, at the right time, at the right places. So I've been doing this for a long time, so I have a lot of connections. I can't guarantee that you're going to get signed, but I can guarantee that you're going to get airplay on a bunch of radio stations. You're going to get album reviews. You're going to get interviews. Your video is going to get played on metal video channels, also on our page as well. So I have the opportunity to do a lot of great things for the bands you work with. And listen, man, it's been a blast so far. We've got several bands, Poker Face and Punch Cabbie and Gone by Sundown and Requiem of Oblivion, Wretched. We have a lot of bands that we're working with, and the list is growing, and we want you to be part of that list. We want you to get your music where it needs to be. So just contact me on Facebook or moose@themetalmoose.com, or you can even text 424-666-7356, and we'll get you set up. And listen, man, it's about $10 a week. That's nothing. $40 a month to get your stuff in the right place to the right people. There's a small price to pay. You have to, not buy a bag of weed or something. You cut out some costs. You don't buy some pizza or whatever. You together with your bandmates, or you ask your parents or your girlfriend or whatever. I don't care. This is important if you want to get your band going. So, $40 a month, and it could be 1 month. It could be as many months as you want. There's no contract. We try it. You like it, great. If not, you don't, then we just stop. Not a big deal. So we part ways, and nobody's hurt. There's no enemies. We give it our best shot to get you out there to the best people in the best places. So yeah, man, Metal Coffee PR. Let's do it. I'm working with a lot of people and a lot of bands and a lot of labels and radio stations and magazines and all that stuff, man. So why not let's work together and get you working with those same people. So yeah, I had to throw that out there because it's pretty cool. I'm really enjoying it so far. I just thought it was time. After as many years as I've spent in this business, I thought, what, I know a lot of people, and I could probably help some bands get to some cool people. So I'm doing it. Metal Coffee. It's a lot of fun. So coming up next, a band called Demon Stealer with How the Mighty Have Fallen. We'll see. We've had some really good thrash and some non-thrash and some, just okay thrash, but we still got a long way to go. We're just a little under an hour into the show, so buckle it up, Buttercup. We got another 35 minutes on the way. So it's Moose. This is Soundchecked, Demon Stealer.
Hey, this is Curtis Don Vito from Snoo, and you're listening to Moose Metal Radio. That's right, the only place on earth where a moose will play you all the loud stuff, all the stuff you want to hear, all the stuff I want to hear, all from the Moose.
listening to Soundcheck with the Moose.
I mean, I'm willing to say that there was some thrash influences going on there, but I would call that death thrash. That was death metal. Most definitely. It was good, man. It was good. I liked the guitar riffing was excellent. I thought the vocal was really pissed. Good, staccato rhythm. I liked it. I don't know if I would call it thrash. Like I said, there was some thrashy influence for sure. But not what I'd call that a death metal track. Like if I had the choice, I'd put that on the death metal show. But it's I do what I can. So I'm just the goofy guy behind the mic, doing the show. So I just I go through the music that I get every day, which is a bunch, and then I find the ones that say thrash or whatever, and then I separate them into categories. I got this huge folder. And it's just a long list of different genres of music, and I put them all in there. So that's how we're doing it. I don't know what we got coming next. I'd have to look. I've got like the first 15 shows lined out. So I broke the order last week when I did the hard rock show. Last week was supposed to be this show, but I asked the listeners what they wanted, and they said hard rock. Okay, well, we did it. So now on to thrash, and we'll see what happens next week. Who the hell knows? We've got industrial, we got punk, we've got glam, we got sleaze, we got fuzz and progressive and hardcore and all. I mean, it's just a monster bank of different kinds of music. So we're gonna have, every week's gonna be a different show, music wise. It's got to be me being stupid between the songs like normal, but it's kind of what I do. So now this next band, somebody could prove me wrong, but I feel like they've been around for a really, really long time, and I'm sure I've heard of them. They're called Holy Terror. I want to say that I may have even seen them live once, but and I remember them being thrash, so I got a good feeling that this next band is thrash, but I don't think this is a new band on the scene. I think this is a band that's been around for a while, and so we're going to throw them here on the old thrash show, see what people think. Yeah, I'd love to hear what you think of the songs, I don't get that enough. I don't get, hey, man, I really liked this song. I did last week, though. Somebody wrote in and they liked No Self, and then somebody else. I don't know. Here's Holy Terror on Soundchecked.
Where you get raided in tacos, only on Soundcheck. suck? Send your music to Soundcheck.
Man, oh man, that was some old school underground recorded in a garage or a small club pool hall kind of. That takes you back to Venom, Celtic Frost days, man. That was Bathory. It had that whole feel to it. I love that kind of stuff. It's really the essence of underground. You know what I mean? It wasn't a cliche. They weren't trying to impress anybody. It was just loud. It was fast. It was gnarly, man. You know, it was unattractive. It was ugly, and I love it. I give it a 4.5. That was awesome to me. I mean, that was just like, do you want metal or do you want fabricated garbage? You know what I mean? So that was metal right there. For those of you who were wondering, that was just damn metal. So really cool. I've dug on that a lot. I know I mentioned it earlier in the show. I wanted to announce I'm really, really excited to be working with PureCore, and then also Black Lion as well. I'm starting to work a little bit with Rock Avenue Records as well. Kind of freelancing for a couple other labels, looking for bands to sign. Man, there are bands out there, and there are labels and people who are interested in signing people. So it's what I do with Metal Coffee. So thanks to everybody that's been such a big support. Of course, you know, Dr. Satan and Tatiana over in Russia as well. How cool is it that I've got a supporter in Russia, and a mighty attractive one as well. So it's really cool. I appreciate it. Of course, I was talking about Dr. Satan. He's a damn good-looking fella. So, yeah, man, it's really big. I can't get over the support that's been showing up just early on in this year. I'm in my 4th year of doing this podcast, Metal Moose and Soundchecked, and things are really coming together really nicely. And of course, I deal with the haters and I deal with the people that don't like me, especially here in my own scene. But I don't care. I just keep doing what I do, and things are working together really cool, swimmingly, have you. So thank you to all of you listening, of course, because it'd be nothing without the listeners and all the support out there. Thanks so much. It's a blast. Coming up right now is a band called Disposable with a tune called Ravenous.
Find Soundcheck on iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and in your local taco truck. to the Soundcheck Taco Line, 424-666-7356.
Well, for the people out there that remember this time, you remember the very first time you heard Left Hand Path by Entombed. You were just kind of like blown away at that sound. You know, that chainsaw guitar sound. Carnage had it on their Dark Recollections record because they did it at the same place, yada, yada, yada. But that was legendary. You know what I mean? That sound was a legendary sound. It was that old Swedish death metal. And then when Bloodbath came out with Breeding Death, the EP, the first one, and you heard it again, you were like, oh my God, that's a perfect replication. That sound was classic, and it was everlasting. You just can't get away from it. When you hear it, you're just like, yes, Entombed, and that had to, who was that, Disposable, right? It had a really interesting tone to it. It was really, really difficult for me to listen to. But I'll go ahead and connect it all the way back to Left Hand Path. I mean, it was one of those kind of deals where somebody will hear that for the first time and go, that was a very, very unique tone in the music, and it was more like deathcore to me than thrashy, which it was a cool tune, but I really, and maybe this is just me being old or whatever, for me, the tone was way off, and it wasn't like something I enjoyed a lot. If the tone were a little bit different, I think I would like it more. But I know that there's somebody out there, especially probably somebody younger, who's going to hear Disposable and go, man, that tone was just awesome. And it's going to stick in their head. And, maybe Disposable has done themselves a favor with using, that out-of-the-box tone. It may get them some followers. It may get them some studio cred or whatever. But for me, it was about a 3. About a 3.5, just because of the tone. If the tones were different, I think I would have liked it a lot better. But that's just me. I don't know. Some people are into that tone thing. I like to listen to King's X for their tone, or Eric Johnson for his amazing guitar tone, or even ZZ Top. Or, tones are a big deal in music. You listen to The Cure, they're tone masters. And so I get it. I get, especially being a musician, because a lot of it sounds the same, and you really want to stand out with the way that you sound. But that to me was just too far over the line of normalcy. I was like, it's a little rough, man. So I don't know. It's not bad though. Those guys, I'm sure, will do well. Coming up next is a band. I like for bands to give us an idea of what they sound like with their name. Kind of maybe what their message is, or kind of who they are with their name. I'm having a little bit of a hard time with this one because I don't know, exactly what it is that they stand for or what their feelings are on certain things. But I'm guessing that Lucifer's Hammer probably is a non-religious band. Just throwing that out there. Lucifer's Hammer with a song called The Destroyer, which could be written about me after leaving Taco Casa, for sure. Just saying. This is Soundchecked with the Moose in OKC. Love it.
Is this mic on? Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a sound check.
What's up? This is Vil from Fuck the Facts, and you're listening to The Moose.
Really, really interesting track there, Lucifer's Hammer. Almost classic rock. You know, I feel a lot of Rush kind of vibe going on there. Very 70s with their tones. It's really muddy, kind of culty. You know what I mean? Really, yeah. I got that occult kind of classic rock, progressive vibe from that. I like it. It was, you know, sounds like a metal cream or something. You know what I mean? Pretty cool. I'd give that like a four taco deal. That was nice. It was certainly not thrash in any way, shape, or form, but it was a nice surprise. It was, you know, it's like, oh, Lucifer's Hammer. I was thinking, you know, okay, this is going to be black and thrash, you know, but it wasn't. It was like a classic rock tune, which I'm a huge Monsters classic rock guy, so I'm all about that. That was cool. I got to be honest with you, gang. I got to tell you, I'm kind of glad tonight's show's only an hour and a half because my throat is just thrashed. If you guys listen to the show often, you know that that's true. I account it to the fact that I'm not a real talkative person. I'm kind of a quiet dude, so you don't talk a lot when I'm not doing the show. So when I sit down and talk for a couple hours straight, my voice usually gives out. And I'm always drinking like cherry Kool-Aid to keep my voice intact. I don't drink beer because it just dries me out. I don't drink it when I'm doing the show. I do enjoy a good beer. I'm a beer snob, so but not when I'm doing the show. It just dries me out, and I sound terrible. So next tune is the last song, and it's by a band called Dreadful Fate, and the song is called The Sin of Sodom, which, okay, Sodom, that's, you know, we all know Sodom's a great thrash band, so Creator, Destruction. I feel bad because I haven't named so many of the amazing thrash bands that are out there. Thrash absolutely it revolutionized metal. You know, it was as big of a movement as new wave of British heavy metal. You know what I mean? Thrash was its own wave that kind of took over metal with Metallica and Slayer and Megadeth and Testament and Exodus and all of those things. It took over, and it's still here. You know what I mean? So what an awesome movement it's been. It's been a lot of fun doing the show, kind of getting thrown back into that time. I know a lot of, you know, there aren't any kids out there who've dealt with a revolution in music like that. So not even rap, you know what I mean? It's too late anymore. They don't remember when rap started, but, you know, lucky for them. Anyway, Dreadful Fate on Soundchecked, The Sin of Sodom. I'll get with you guys after this tune and say condolences. Keep it locked.
You're listening to the Metal Moose.
No
That was a beautiful way to end the show, man. That was Thrash Until Death. Like I said, man, it's been a lot of fun, other than the fact that I can't talk really. A lot of fun doing this. Hopefully next time we'll have a full 2 hours of Thrash. Since I just started this idea with the genre thing the beginning of the year, so I'm still collecting music. I've got a bunch of the other kinds of music, but Thrash is one I'm kind of short on. So it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for all of you listening on social media. Thanks for asking me on Facebook when the show comes out and where to find it and how to listen and all that stuff. It's important to me. Much kudos. Thanks so much. Once again, thanks to the guys, Jeremy over at Purecore, also Black Lion Records, Sliptrick Records, Rock Avenue Records, Dr. Satan, Hellion Social Media, Mark Gibson, the retweeter. Thanks to everybody for the support. It's awesome. Thanks to Killing Grace and 3 Left for this insane rumble that's going on right now. If you guys didn't hear earlier in the show, I actually had to clear my voicemail. My phone was like, your voicemail is full. So that's how many people are voting. It's a huge deal. So we'll announce the winner of that on Thursday. Sometime Thursday. I don't know. I don't really have a time for that. Sometime Thursday, we'll announce the winner and then who they're going to be going up against. So this one has been one hell of a fight, man. It's really going to come down to Thursday at this point. Literally the day of. I'm going to have to count the votes because they keep coming in. So say it at the end of every show. I'm going to say it again. You wake up, you be kind, you kick ass, you repeat. You take care of each other, man. It's a big, big deal. I appreciate all of you, man. And I love you for listening. Thanks for being here. My amazing co-host, the listeners. I appreciate it so much. Find us on iTunes. Until next time, do me a favor and take care.
All rights to the music heard on the Metal Moose are reserved by the authors, their labels, or authorized representatives that permitted their material to be used. The Metal Moose holds no rights to any music played on the show. Go to themetalmoose.com to submit your music to be heard on the show. The Metal Moose accepts donations of money, Cheetos, bacon, and naked pictures. Thank you for tuning in and subscribe on iTunes. Rock out while you rack out, and consider yourself moosed.